In the year 2032, we are shown a spaceship named Helmari, deep in space. Inside Helmari, a person awakens with no memories, having been in a coma for the past 2 years. He has no idea how he got there. His name is Grace. He wants to know about himself. So he starts looking around the spaceship. There, he finds dead bodies of several people. He realizes that they all came with him on this mission, but now they are all dead. After this, goes to the control room and learns that the spaceship's AI is named Mary. He tells Mary to return to Earth. Mary replies that they cannot return to Earth until the mission is complete. He learns that the mission started from Earth 2 years ago, meaning he has been traveling continuously for 2 years. After 2 years, he regains consciousness and slowly begins to regain his memories. He remembers being a high school science teacher teaching molecular biology. Around that time, scientists observed an astro-radiation line extending all the way to Venus, dubbed the Petrova line. They discovered that a microscopic organism called astrophages was rapidly spreading on the sun's surface, reducing sunlight. Scientists predicted that this would cause a severe global cold snap within the next 30 years, leading to global cooling that would destroy the entire world. Grace believes that scientists will soon find a solution to this problem. After class, Aya, a woman named Eve, comes to meet him. She is the head of the Helmari project. She knows a lot about Grace. A few years ago, Grace published a paper in which she argued that life could be possible on a planet without water. However, people ridiculed her theory. After this, she was removed from the scientific team and began teaching at school. We want to give you a chance. We have a project. I want you to work on it. Then she takes him to the lab, gives him a sample, and tells him to test it. Grace spends hours testing it, and finally, she discovers that it's a single-celled organism that's inaccessible to electromagnetic radiation, meaning neither light nor anything else can penetrate it. It's completely alien. It's an alien microbe. Eve is delighted by his theory. Grace quickly realizes that it's the same microbe that's cooling the sun. That means it's the thing connected to the Petrova line. After a while, Eve comes to her. She explains that her theory was absolutely correct. Even without water, life forms, that is, alien worlds, can exist. She says, these microorganisms are from Venus. They're called astrophages. A team of 130 scientists was working on it, but the theory you've described is the most accurate. So she enlists him in her team and takes him to their large base. There, they tell him they need to produce a large quantity of astrophages. Grace asks why they need to produce astrophages. They tell her they want to use astrophages as fuel in their spacecraft. This will allow their spacecraft to travel much faster. According to their research so far, there's a star in our star system called Tau Ceti. Its light hasn't dimmed, while the other stars are gradually dimming. And now, through this mission, FAS, they want to send some scientists to the vicinity of the Tau Ceti star. But this is a one-sided mission. Whoever goes there will never return. They will all go there to conduct research, and whatever results they reach, they will send their research to Earth via small, very fast robotic spacecraft. It would take 3 years to reach Earth. If they send their research to Earth via messages, it would take 26 years, which would be too late. They have selected 3 scientists for this entire mission. The story returns to the present. Grace learns that both of his fellow scientists have been killed, and now he tries to remember more about his past life. But he cannot remember everything. For the next several months, he continues traveling in space like this, until one day, his spaceship's AI, Mary, informs him that another spaceship has arrived nearby. He then looks outside and sees a spaceship that is completely different. It was made of a crystal-like metal. Then, something is thrown towards him from the other spaceship, frightening him. But after waiting for a while, when it doesn't explode, he realizes it's probably a message. So he exits the spacecraft and retrieves the object. Upon closer inspection, he discovers that whoever sent it has already shared their location with him. Grace realizes it's from the planet Eridani. Grace then sends her location to him in the same object. Shortly after, something emerges from the other spacecraft and connects with the Helmari. This means the two spacecrafts are now docked. A path forms between the two spacecraft. Although Grace is afraid, she musters up the courage to proceed down the path, and a strange alien being approaches her from the other spacecraft. It has 5 legs, resembles a stone, and is also very small in size. The alien makes strange noises, but Grace doesn't understand its language. Neither does Grace. But they both understand that they are harmless. They each build a device in their spaceships to understand each other's language. Soon, their devices are ready, and they begin communicating. This reveals their shared mission, to save their planet from the astrophage. Grace names the alien Rocky because of its rock-like body. They quickly develop a strong friendship, as they are the only two in space. Rocky tells Grace that there were 23 other aliens like him on his spaceship, but they're all dead now. Grace also explains that she had 2 other companions with her, but they're both dead as well. Grace has also created a device for Rocky. Whatever he says is converted into Grace's language and understood by him. They both share the same mission. They decide to work together to save their respective planets, and Rocky enters Grace's spaceship, encased in a crystal cover. Oxygen is harmful to him. He can't breathe oxygen. Therefore, he has to stay inside the cover. It's essentially his suit. Once inside, he tells Grace, "You keep your spaceship very dirty." In fact, they even joke around. Rocky tells Grace, "We both have to go to the same place, so we'll go in your spaceship." Grace agrees. Rocky tells her, "I'm a mechanic on my spaceship. My wife is waiting for me on my planet. We've been together for 183 years. Grace tells him, "I had a girlfriend, but she's no longer with me." After traveling for 11 days, they arrive near Tau City. They then bring back samples to find out why the astrophages aren't having any effect on the planet. Why isn't the planet's light dimming? When Grace tests the samples, she discovers that the sample they collected here is the reason the astrophages aren't having any effect on the planet. The sample also contains bacteria that can fight the astrophages. Grace is overjoyed to learn this, as it could help them save their planets. But now they need more of this bacterial element, so Grace can send it to Earth via a robotic spaceship to convince them that it can save their planet. Rocky tells his friends, "I'll never be able to return to my planet because my spaceship only has enough astrophag fuel to get me there. I have no way to go back." Rocky says, "You've become a very good friend to me. I won't let anything happen to you. I have plenty of astrophage fuel in my spaceship. I'll give you some of it so you can return to your planet." However, this will take Rocky 6 years longer to reach his planet. But Rocky doesn't care. He just wants to save Grace. Grace becomes very emotional and hugs Rocky. They take their spaceship to Tau City to collect the element. The gravity there is very strong, which is why they have a lot of trouble stabilizing the spaceship. Grace goes outside to collect the element samples and begins putting the element into the box, which takes a lot of time. She also gets injured because gravity is pulling her downward. But Grace somehow manages to pull herself back inside the spaceship, carrying the box. Grace then attempts to pull the spaceship out of the way. However, the high gravity puts immense pressure on the spaceship's engine, causing it to explode. Grace is knocked unconscious in the blast. Rocky, who has been watching the scene, breaks his crystal cover and emerges. First, he puts the entire spaceship on autopilot. Afterward, he puts Grace into a hibernation chamber so that the spaceship's AI system, Mary, can repair it.
AI voice agents are delivering results with highly customizable workflows and backed up by
The story shifts to the past, where Grace, along with Eve's team, had already completed the spaceship's engine, and the special team of scientists was fully prepared for the mission. But then, a massive explosion occurs in the lab, killing all 3 scientists. Grace is asked to take on the mission, but Grace flatly refuses. Reeve says, "You're our last hope. You can save the world. And anyway, we're not asking you. This is our order." Grace is then captured, sedated, and forcibly sent on this mission. He had regained consciousness after 2 years, which is why he didn't remember anything, but now he remembers everything. In the present, Cress regains consciousness. He sees Rocky unconscious in front of him. He has come out of his crystal cover. He understands that Rocky sacrificed his life to save his. He is completely exhausted. Now, he tests the element he brought from there with astrophage. It turns out that the element completely destroys astrophage upon contact with it and increases its own numbers. In a way, he increases his own count by making astrophages his food, and this is one of the reasons astrophages have no effect on the Tau Ceti star. He names this element Predator, with which he wants to save his and Rocky's planet, but he doesn't know how he will deliver it to Rocky's planet. However, he is confident that once he gets inside Rocky's spaceship, he will definitely find a way to send this element named Predator to Rocky. He takes his spaceship to Rocky's spaceship, and one night, while he is sleeping, he hears some noise. He sees that Rocky is still alive, which overjoys him. He hugs Rocky and tells him that they have succeeded in their mission. Now they can save their respective planets. Rocky then takes him inside his spaceship, which is made of a special crystal-like metal. Grace is very impressed by this. Rocky transfers the astrophage fuel from his spaceship to Grace's. Afterward, they bid farewell to each other and depart for their respective planets. A few months pass, and one day, an alarm goes off in Grace's spaceship. He discovers that the Predator samples he's carrying have evolved. Consequently, without even opening the container, the astrophage, which is the fuel in the spaceship, is reaching it and destroying it. He quickly fixes the problem. However, he realizes that Rocky's spaceship may have developed the same problem, which he can't fix himself because he's a mechanic. If he doesn't reach him, Rocky will never reach his planet. His entire planet will perish along with him. Grace is at a loss as to what to do, as her spaceship lacks enough astrophysics to first go to Rocky and fix his problem before reaching Earth. However, she decides to sacrifice her life because Rocky is truly her best friend. She sends all the creator element samples and information she has to Earth via a robotic spacecraft and sets out to rescue Rocky. Within a few months, she reaches Rocky. She goes to Rocky's spaceship. Rocky is overjoyed to see her. Afterward, she fixes the problem. Meanwhile, we see Eve on Earth. Many years have passed. Sunlight has diminished significantly, leading to the onset of an ice age. Eve, however, finds Grace's samples Ennis, which Grace has delivered to her via a robotic spacecraft. This helps them discover how to destroy the astrophage, which is blocking sunlight from reaching Earth. They quickly set to work, succeeding, and thus saving Earth. Rocky and Grace are shown there. Rocky has taken Grace to his planet, where Grace lives inside a large dome. The environment is conducive to her survival. Furthermore, Lee, she hasn't aged because she travels at the speed of light. Therefore, even after years on Earth, only a few years have passed. Rocky is also with her here, having completely repaired and refueled her spaceship. She can return to her planet